the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians, and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Stoned Appetit. With your hosts, as always, it's me, Kip, and to my left, I got CB. CB, how are you today, brother?
Doing great. We just wrapped up a huge field trip.
Yeah, we did. It's pretty much like science camp over here. We're having a big time. We're recording on location. And why you wouldn't expect that, because it sounds so good behind us, like the acoustics sound great in this room. We are, in fact, on location. We're coming to you today from, we're going to call it the science lab of MedPharm Holdings. We've had CEO Albie Gutierrez on the podcast before. It may have been back in the spring or early summer, but we're back. We're back to see the vibe. In person. We need to see what they were working with. They are doing huge things, not only in the news, but in the community as well. They're a cannabis operation that has pretty much seed to sale. Obviously, not a lot of people are doing the seed aspect anymore, as Dr. Duncan, the nerd, told us. But it was a riveting thing. But we have two guests joining us today. We have Tim Matheson and Scott Karolchek. Did I get that right?
Very correct.
Holy shit, that never happens. But we're going to have a big time. We're going to kind of nerd out on the cannabis today. We're not going to ask y'all too terribly deep of questions, but we're going to know, what y'all dig about it, as well as talk a little bit about the company. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We have two of them. We have two every week. You know the two that we're talking about. Our friends over at Seed & Smith. They're actually probably not too far away from here, but a cannabis company based out of Denver, Colorado. They recently opened their new location at 1413 Hecla Way in Louisville, and they have been doing some pretty gnarly stuff from their big, gigantic fundraiser. They now have a couple new dark carts on the counters, and you can find those across the city. Check out their website, seedandsmith.com, but you can also swing through any of their locations on Oakland Street and or Hecla Street up in Louisville. We love you guys. Y'all are fantastic. We appreciate y'all sticking with us through all the hard times and stupid comments, but we love y'all dearly. And our second sponsor is our downtown cannabis partners in crime, and that is Cali's Cannabis. Cali's, we shine for those guys because of their daily deals of the day. Daily deals of the week, where they have something for everybody. It doesn't matter.
Every day.
Yeah, the everyday deals. From wax to cartridges. I'm off my game already. Edibles and anything you need. They got you covered. They have a rewards program as well. You sign up. Every time you spend $1, you get $1. And then we have the Stoned Appetit cards. So if you ever need a dollar joint card, give us a shout. We got you covered. Those are our folks that are over at 30th and Larimer, and they have the second location in the downtown area at 8th and Kenosha Court. We love those guys. I find their products or their deals to be pretty freaking sturdy. I guess their flour's not bad either, but I like the dialed-in gummies. Those things do it for me. I dig it. Yep. So you can grab all those at all the Cali's locations. They have 3 across the Front Range, North Glen, and 2 in Denver. Thank you guys so much. And now, back to our content. Oh, okay. That was a great ad read, Kip.
That was good.
Thank you. All right, Chris. So we like to start every episode the same way. I'm going to pass it off to Chris, but we'll get a quick intro so that everyone knows y'all's voice and who y'all are. But we like to ask the same question, just kind of get the ball rolling. So I got cottonmouth now. It's all you, brother.
All right. So, Tim, we'll start with you. Are you a transplant or a native to Colorado?
I am a transplant.
Where are we coming from?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chi-Town.
Chi-Town about 8 years now, which is crazy. Feels like yesterday.
8 years. What brought you out here?
So, the good vibes. Actually followed a lady.
Is she still your lady?
She's still my lady, married.
That's
yeah.
Nice.
Normally that doesn't work out, but in this case, I'm happy for you.
In this case, it worked well.
51% of all relationships end in divorce.
It's true.
If it's not you, then it's probably me.
2.5 years, we're good. But yeah, since then, been absolutely loving Denver. It's home for sure. It's where I want to be.
Yeah, and the winters don't suck here like they do in Chicago.
No, you could do things with the winter in the amounts of snow that come here. So yeah, I'm like a typical, come for the winter, stay for the summer type of deal.
I did the same from Mississippi.
Snowboarding and all that stuff, do all that, but summer life keeps.
Yeah, they kind of. I remember when I first moved out here, the whole summer life was a little bit hidden. Like everybody just always talked about Colorado winters, and the summer's the best.
Yeah, I mean, like city vibes too. Denver's a great city. It's not as big as Chicago, which I've always loved. Chicago's very. It's changed a lot, but I like being here for sure.
That's awesome. All right, so we got the rundown. Tim, transplant or native?
That's Scott, dude.
Oh yeah, just spent.
I can go by Tim.
Oh shit. Yeah, Scott.
It's all right. We're not going to edit that out.
Scott Carroll check.
Transplant.
Transplant. Where are you from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
What brought you back or brought you out? Are you in the program? You know, like, you know what I'm talking about? You don't have to say it. Just nod your head twice. Nice. What brought you west?
It's a real fun story. I went to my homecoming at the University of Iowa, and in the parking lot of this restaurant, I met my old boss, who happens to be my new boss, the new owner, one of the new owners of the MedPharm. And he said, "Hey, before we go inside, I have a story for you." And I said, "I listened to it." He told me the story. He goes, "What do you think?" I said, "Hell yeah, I'm in." The story was, I want to start a cannabis research company in Colorado. What do you think? I didn't even hesitate, and that's what brought me here.
All right, so I have a quick question. How the fuck did you end up in Iowa from New Jersey? Like, no one's like, you know what? I'm white and I like corn. I'm going to go cheer for the Hawkeyes. That's about the only way. Like, it's mainly an in-state school.
The University of Iowa is a really good school.
It's huge.
Pharmacy. I went into pharmacy.
Okay.
And pharmaceutics. And the story is I had two choices, Iowa or Rutgers. I did not want to go to Rutgers.
Yeah, you wanted to get out and do something else.
So I went to Iowa.
Oh, now they're both Big Ten teams, so, I mean, you can see
exactly.
each other. But, no, I can understand that, but that really well. I was about to be like, well, that's kind of a switch.
Hey, it turned out great.
Yeah. So are you technically, you had that white coat you were wearing earlier is like, you earned yours?
Yes.
Okay, well, I earned mine.
You did.
As a visitor.
Yeah, it says it right there. So how long have you been out here?
I have been working at MedPharm for over 5 years now.
Oh, hell yeah. And what is it that you do here? Who is your daddy and what does he do? We quote movies a lot, too, by the way.
My title is Director of Formulation Development. I get to make and create new dosage forms. It is fun.
Dude, wait. All right, so tell us, dosage forms as in like new ways to consume, or you're like, let me see if I can fit 1,000 milligrams into this baby chocolate.
Both.
Fuck yeah. We are going to be good friends, Scott.
Yes.
Tim, you're right.
I'll sell it to you.
Yeah. We'll circle back to you. You can sell me on Chicago. I didn't realize we were going to be in the middle of casserole country for this episode, Chris. Did you see it? I didn't. It's a cream of mushroom city, and I dig it. That's a regular joke. We love casseroles. All right, guys, so I thought that was a pretty good intro.
Yeah. Got to know a little bit about them. I screwed up the names, but we know what they're doing.
Yeah, and so I guess we kind of know a little bit about how Scott got in the industry. Was it did you come out here obviously following a lady, but did you dive right into the cannabis scene, or what kind of it?
Yeah.
What's your background? Are you smart like Scott?
No, not at all.
Welcome.
Very good at selling things.
Oh, hey, what's up? Double high. Scott, you're back on tier 2.
So digital marketing was my background, sales within the digital marketing realm, a little bit content management, but actually started my career with a company called Organobrands, who produces the open vape products. Baked products was manager for them. Had some introductions to some of the ownership, became friends with some of those guys over there, and that's where my cannabis career started. Still some awesome people over there that I'm still in great touch with. From there, had the opportunity, Albie reached out, and it was before MedPharm was doing anything. There was no products created, no sales team. He reached out and kind of pitched the idea, and it made total sense. Seemed like the future. Seemed like everything, the kind of idea was it's the next level of cannabis, right? There's great growers, there's great MIPS, there's great, stores. No one's really touching research, and that got me excited, so... And that jump was sweet.
I forgot. We probably should have done that. We should have said, for those that didn't hear the Albie episode from earlier, I think it was this summer or spring or whatever. What y'all are a little bit different than the average cannabis company.
Right.
We joke about these white coats, but in fact, y'all are kind of more of a science-backed operation. Y'all partner with hospitals and research grants and firms of that nature to do some pretty gnarly stuff. Y'all are on the forefront, as Colorado is in the forefront. Give us y'all's elevator pitch for the listeners as to what MedPharm is doing and how y'all aren't just like your everyday cannabis company.
Yeah, I mean, it's the next level of cannabis. The elevator pitch is, we make unbelievable products with our batch Become and Alleviar lines. You can find those in about 450 dispensaries across the state. There is a heavy rec and med presence for that, but the reality is we want to be the future of research in cannabis. The two studies that we're really focused on is dementia and Alzheimer's.
I love you for that.
And the next one that we're really looking at is cancer. So there's these great applications. I love weed for recreational reasons. I'm lucky enough to not have to use it for medical reasons. But there's a huge amount of people who have, we don't know what the benefits can be for these, diseases all over the world. And our mission is to understand what can cannabis help with. Furthermore, what are the things we don't even know about cannabis yet? We have a general idea of cannabinoids. We know what terpenes can do. We know that different cannabinoids can do different things, but we don't know in this country because we've just been so far back in terms of the research. So to have DEA Schedule I clearance for research, to have the state of Colorado and the city of Denver give us clearance for research, to have clinical trials set up through third party, and grants being given to us, federal money to run this research, that's what we want to do, is understand how it can help and what it can do.
No, I totally agree. We've really only scratched the surface on, the potential of the plant. And I feel like the government kind of sandbagged us there for a little while. For example, coming from Mississippi, the shitbirds from Ole Miss had this whole research grant to run marijuana. Meanwhile, the intelligent folks at Mississippi State, who are agricultural based, they didn't give it to the people to be like successful, like see what we can do with this. They were like, let's give it to the least, competent folks we can and just fucking spend. Oh, we're trying, and exactly. It seems like we're finally kind of getting to that point where, we were talking about it with McCarter and we spoke about it in the Aspen Food and Wine that, when we can start seeing it recreationally in the eyes of, alcohol is, then that'll change the whole world's perspective. But y'all are doing that like 2 times the 1,000th degree. What happens when we find out, like I know from firsthand or secondhand experience, cannabis is great for cancer patients for when you don't have an appetite, for when you have mouth sores, when you have nausea, things of that nature. But when you're an inpatient, you can't have any of those things because the doctors won't let you. But when you're at the outpatient at home in Denver, these people are able to tee off on it. And so I applaud y'all for doing all of those things. So that's a really gnarly step forward y'all are taking for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you kind of talk about the research and things y'all are involved in, like how does research in the cannabis world work? Are you using like placebos and are you having like actual people or like just what are y'all doing?
Well, what's nice about our research license in Colorado is we are allowed to do randomized clinical trials, the gold standard of what everyone wants, what every physician and expert wants. We can use placebos. We can make our own products and give those to patients from our facility, or those patients can pick them up, our products from their local dispensary. So we can control the dose, we can control the strain, we can control the administration, and we can also compare it with double-blinded, so the doctor and the patient don't know. So we're doing the gold standard. So that's unique. No one else in the country can do that. No other state can do that. And with our new DEA licenses, we got one. We're going for the. Well, we're.
Y'all are pretty much cops.
Edit that.
Yeah, cut that out. They are not cops.
We're very close to being able to work interstate, I should say, with our products too. Once we get that second DEA license, we can work with clinicians throughout the United States and patients too. That's going to be real. That's going to make a big difference in what we do.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, so it's not just though. I mean, we are kind of harping on the research aspect because that's a huge differentiator, and y'all are doing noble work over here. But y'all also, for the casual consumers, such as, Tim, myself, and Chris, Scott, I don't know which side of the aisle you're on. If you take it medicinally or enjoy it recreationally.
I can't use it back at home yet, so.
There we go. See, so, we have that benefit of just using it casually. Let's talk a little bit about what we have on the shelves and the products that we're talking about. I know we harped on the batch when we talked with Albie because it was during the social justice push when we were campaigning for it. But let's talk. Y'all have a whole wide array, as Dr. Nerd was showing us. Y'all have a slew of products that you can find across the city, and 450 fucking stores.